Welcome to my desk on a cloudy, chilly afternoon in Tokyo. It is the end of May, and this is a perfect time for the second Patreon question and answer. Hey, what's going on with the world? Type of live stream. Thanks so much. Yesterday we did a unboxing of the award that I got sent from YouTube in where was it? I think it was like Arizona. I forget where somewhere like Arizona or Utah in the west, southwest of the U.S. They send it to Kentucky, and then it comes to Japan. It's pretty cool how everything gets shot from this one area in the U.S. to the rest of the world for creator awards. And I'm glad that they still make it in the good old USA, which is cool. But if I found that these creator awards, they get bent and damaged pretty quickly. Yeah. Oh, I see the live chat here. Hey, Gary's here. Jason, Tokyo Tom. Hey, welcome, Kai. Nice to see you. JKO Adventure. Yeah. So I got a haircut recently, and the barber should remember how my hair's cut, but I don't go there that often because of the pandemic, and I guess he forgot, and he just cut it all the same length, and this isn't how I would wear my hair, but it's all good. Good morning. Nasha is in the house. Women and children run away. Just joking. We get a lot of questions here. I was making a cup of coffee as we were waiting. I started this at 10:55. And with a start time of 11 o'clock to open up the live stream 5 minutes early. So keep that in mind. I might do that more often. It's good coffee. We got a bunch of questions, and I have a lot of answers here. Last night that award was unboxed. I'm gonna put those awards back here on the wall, so then you'll be able to see them in the Twitch live streams, which is probably coming today. I have everything set up, but there's a lot of stuff I gotta do this morning. I woke up to phone calls, lots of them from different people asking me to do many things, and I have to process all of this. It's crazy. Let's see. We'll start from the top. Alex, keep up the great work. I like the non-question Alex. Thank you. Yes, I have. The last month has been tough, and I'm not going to explain it again, but the reasons why. But I wasn't able to work as much as I would have liked to have. But it's probably better that I don't. So now the situation is looking better, so I can produce a lot more. Meaning, I got some location shoots this week to do, and I have some editing to do, and there's some new videos coming out soon. So we're back in the fold, competing with the rest of the world. Mrs. Quills, silly question. Do you feel your hat has become a trademark of the show? Is this answer your question, Mrs. Quells? Yes, somewhat. I think it's good to have... Look, alright, I see like these weird foreign people. They walk around with like blue hair and pink hair because they're in Japan and they think that that's normal. It's not normal behavior to color your hair different colors. However, I got nothing against it because everybody is individualistic and has their own way of being different, all right? But just because you color your hair doesn't make you some kind of punk rocker in Japan. However, I don't prefer to color my hair black because there's gray, which I don't color that much, and just wear a hat. What's wrong with that, huh? People with punk colored hairs are making fun of me? I will strike back. Did they strike? Mrs. Quells, I don't know, but when it came to the animated opening, the animators asked me, do you want a hat or not? And I don't like making choices. It's like going to a Starbucks and then they just changed your world by adding another option. It was overwhelming for me because like if you're waiting in line and there's people behind you and then the staff says, you could also get this. Oh my God, this has changed my world. I was going to get this and now I must consider this? You have to stand there for another 5 minutes. I was standing there for like another 5 weeks, and eventually, I think we agreed on hat. Yeah, it just was. People recognize me with the hat now, so I wear the hat. Except for today, where I won't. To rebel. Yes, rebel, also known as to be a raw dog. It's a rebel. Nicholas writes in here, what the heck is Okapi doing? I don't know. It just happened. Literally. I didn't put him there. I was taking the picture and he fell into here and it just happened like that. It was a very spontaneous moment. I was lucky to capture that on camera because there's no telling when he'll pull away. Ryan writes in here, John, I hope Kanai and Rio are doing well, and I was glad to hear your family member is on the mind. I would love to see a mashup of sorts between you and Paolo, baby's day out. I talked with Paolo, about 2 days ago, and we're gonna see if we can do something maybe June or early July. We both have pretty busy schedules, and there's a state of emergency, but he's getting out more, and we're getting out, and Leo's getting big enough where he could play a little bit, but they're about 7 months difference or something like this, 7 or 8 months difference, but they're in the same grade in school, so Leo's got to do some learning real fast to catch up. But we do plan on hanging out, but like I don't when I was hanging out with like Simon, with Simon and Martina, I wasn't like getting a camera out, not even taking pictures. I think I have like 3 pictures out of all the many times we just hung out and went out to eat or something. Something like just with other YouTubers, I guess it's normal to want to get out a camera and then make content, but sometimes you just want to turn it off too. So I don't know if we'll do a collaboration on this, but I'm not the kind that I'm getting really good at just turning this off because this is a marathon, not a sprint, and I know like look, my family's here and his family's here. Let's get to know each other, you know. So we will see. However, with that said, I think it'd be pretty fun for Leo to meet. Actually, Leo is like lion, right? And Wolfie's first name is Tora, which is tiger. So it's like lion and tiger meeting. That's kind of cool. So maybe we got our cameras out, not because we're YouTubers, but because we're fathers. Probably that's what happens. And then we use that footage later. It's probably what happens. Just predicting it. Dad and son eat food together. Random thoughts. Kanai made a passing comment a few weeks ago that is stuck in my mind that maybe Kanai and Rio will do something. It's not impossible. And that's pretty exciting. Thanks, Ryan, for the question. I love the random thoughts. I love the way that you numbered your random thought and stopped at 1. Ryan's question stopped at 1. 1. This. Hey, you doing, Jennifer French? Hey, Jennifer, I saw your comment on Tokyo Sam's live stream, or driving video. I was like, hey, there's Jennifer French. So I saw Tokyo Sam yesterday. We had a Shake Shack burger for a short period of time. And I know that a lot of people think he's pretty rough around the edges, but he's been a YouTuber for a very long time and has some pretty interesting stories. And deep down, when he's not on the camera, he's a pretty nice guy. He is who he is. I think he reminds me of me, but he's like the bizarro me, where every word is like a swear word. If Hello Hi 821 is here, that is not family friendly. That's the opposite. But this camera. You know what? This is why I didn't start exactly on time. This gimbal is gonna get a name if it does not behave itself. Hey, Mrs. Quills, I answered your question. You're gonna have to watch the playback now. I don't think I remember what I said. It's nice to see you here. Pratik is here. When things open up to Japan, what's the first OIJ related travel event? You know, I haven't really changed my direction as a state of Japan being closed. I think Japan being closed to you is one thing, but for me, it's open. So I'm not sure what I will change, but I know it'll open up a lot more options, going to restaurants to film, going to some of the prefectures are iffy wanting people to come, but I get invited to go anyways, right? You know, Japan Rail will invite me to go to Aomori and spend some time there. So I'm not sure. I'd like to get episodes in Okinawa and back up in Hokkaido, but some YouTubers went there anyways, right? So we'll see. Like it was a state of emergency, but for example, I'm not gonna name any creators specifically, but one creator went to islands and filmed these, which is really cool. But like other people might say, John, you shouldn't be traveling in a state of emergency. So right now in Japan, it's a pretty tough situation. Like right now, the variants are high, and it's just really hard to travel. A lot of people are getting sick that cannot be traced with contact. So it's, I don't know. The government says to stay home. I'm sort of listening a little bit more than maybe other people, but I'm also going out too. Not just for essentials. We'll see. But probably I'm going to get out of Tokyo, okay? I'm definitely not going to be filming anymore in Tokyo. All right? It's only in Japan, not only in Tokyo. So I need to get out. I'm not sure of the itinerary, but probably Okinawa or Hokkaido or the islands are high on my list. I wanted to go to Ogasawara last year again. I have other islands in Ogasawara to film, but I couldn't because of the pandemic. They don't want me. Let's invite the Westerner guy who has been hanging out in the city and bring in something besides himself. I don't want to put them on. I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable and put them at risk. Because I need them for interviews and to help explain stuff to me, right? So it's good to make friends. But it's a good question. I will let you know as the situation changes. Christian, hey, I heard that over 80% of adults think the Olympics should be canceled. I think that poll also used kids. I don't know. I think it's pretty high because no one's done marketing for the Olympics. For the last many months or year, the Tokyo Olympics has no commercials promoting it. They're not really, no one's excited about it. We just see the risk because we hear about it on the news. So I think that the adult population, they don't hear or feel that the Olympics are taking place. They just hear and feel about the risks over and over. And I myself don't actually know what the benefits are at this stage, other than they could do it, but yeah, probably they're gonna go on anyways because there's too many contracts involved, and there's more money to be lost than there is to be gained. Japan's already lost like billions of dollars, so they're gonna lose even more if they cancel the contracts, I believe. So it just means like they gotta just keep going. The contract should be with the IOC and not with the country, by the way. I'm not sure why Japan is footing the bill for the IOC, which is just raking in money. All right, it's not fair. I think that this is probably going to change the way we see the Olympics. It's a bold statement. I'm still excited about them. I'm in that 20% maybe. And no, I'm in that 20% that's going, yeah, you know what? I'm excited, but really? I don't know. Because I don't hear a lot of stuff about the Olympics except for fear. Graduation parties all day. Congratulations, 100,000. Give Kanai and Rio a big hug for me. You got it. I will give them a hug. I give Okapi a hug too, Ramsey Silent. Okapi a hug for my brother over there in the Midwest. Clifford I. Kruger. John, how come you don't have any Japanese reaction videos about your videos? All seems to be the rage now. I don't know. I think it's harder to react to mine. I know Chris and Paolo have had reaction videos. I'm just not hot enough right now for the few Japanese YouTubers. I'm not hot enough, and I really don't mind either. Let it, whatever. But maybe the topics that I made are not worthy enough in the sense like I research it more journalistically. Maybe I don't know. The IOC will make changes to protect themselves. Yes, but the countries will have no protection whatsoever. I wish Japan had the power to go, listen, IOC, screw off. We're doing it in October when everyone is vaccinated. Just saying. And then we can just be more free about this and have venues full of people. To just wait it like 3 to 4 months, all right? It's crazy. It's dumb. I don't know, Clifford. I hope somebody does do one. I'll be look, I'm not one that has thin skin like other YouTubers that I've talked with recently. I kind of like it. I don't mind if I'm getting trolled. Just don't troll me because I said that. And why would I say that to a Patreon supporter video? All right, sorry, my Patreon supporters control me all day. And Dugan, now that you have dad hair, what are you talking about? Really? Oh man. Are there any programs for first-time fathers like there are now for new mothers? There are a lot of programs in Japan, actually here in Chuoku, where I live, Chuo Ward in central Tokyo, but they're just not doing it because of the pandemic, and this has added a lot of stress because we haven't been able to meet other parents, except for Paolo and Greg, whose kids are grown up, and some of Kanai's friends. By the way, I did eat this, I ordered this last night, and I share this with you. This is a piece of Japanese Domino's pizza with salmon and mochi and asparagus. And I don't know how that piece of sausage got in there. I didn't order anything with sausage, but there's sausage on there. I love it when that happens, except when you're a vegetarian. And there's a little hot dog here. They take the little Japanese hot dogs and put that on the pizza, but this has mochi on it, so I thought I'd eat this with you. You can see the mochi right here. Do you see it? It's like strung in through the pizza. Mmm. Mmm. Yummy. Oh yeah, that mochi's real good. Yum. Dad hair? I'm gonna have to wear the hat more now. Thomas writes in here, what city in Japan do you think is underrated? Wow. Maybe Nagasaki? Nagasaki is so far out there, it doesn't get much attention. Nagasaki is a beautiful city, very much like the Hakodate of Kyushu. It's got these beautiful mountains all around it, which made it a perfect target in World War II, but it's famous for the wrong things. It's famous for the bomb, but there's so many beautiful things in Nagasaki. So Fukui is that's a tough one. I don't know if Fukui is underrated. It is what it is. It's Fukui. There's some really pretty sides to the city of Fukui, alright? The prefecture is underrated. The city is okay. I mean, Kanazawa's got a lot of history and it was preserved in that bomb during World War II. Fukui was flattened, so I mean, it's like, there's some pretty parts to it. Fukui was a lot bigger hundreds of years ago. Then when Meiji Restoration started, a lot of the trade started to go through Tokyo and Yokohama and Osaka, which it always did. But back in the day, a lot of trade came through China. And Fukui and the port city of Obama was big time back then, all right? We're talking like hundreds of years ago. So their heyday kind of went down as the country changed to the other side, the Pacific side. The Fukui sake is actually really good. I had a lot of it. Read For Fukui's Sake. Fukui's Sake is pretty good though. I'll check out that book on Amazon. Gosh, there's a lot of underrated cities though. So, Miyazaki, for example, it's got a very tropical vibe. That's off the beaten path for sure. It's off of the Shinkansen route. Oita is a prefecture that a lot of people miss too, which is a shame. A lot of good onsen. Beppu is there. In Hokkaido, I think Abashiri up in the north has some pretty cool attractions, and it's a unique winter city. It's not that much fun to go in the summer. If you go winter, the locals come out and start drinking when it's 20 below. I like that. It's pretty fun. They have street festivals at 20 below in the middle of February. All right, that's awesome. Jason writes in here, looks like Okapi isn't social distancing. I know, but he's a family member, so it's okay. Kanai doesn't have to social distance, for example. Congratulations, John, and I hope Kanai and Leo are doing well. My question is, Do you plan when things change, return to normal, to do a motorcycle trip with Peter somewhere around Japan? Perhaps even Dean could join you too? Peter and I have been talking about a motorcycle trip. The pandemic is putting a big cog in it, but so is the fact that I don't have a motorcycle license. So I need to get that motorcycle license pretty soon, and that means this pandemic should end so I can so I could really take the lessons and be happy with it. Um, Getting a motorcycle in Japan, a license is pretty tough. I probably will fail the test, but you can go to motorcycle license camp and pay more and get it quicker a little bit. But I don't want to go hang out with people in the pandemic, you know what I mean? It's a tough one. But I probably will get a motorcycle license this year. And I don't know, Jason, if it's going to happen this year because of the Olympics and a lot of other stuff, or if it'll happen next year, but it's going to happen. All right? It's going to happen. And it's going to happen like as a crowdfunding thing. So Peter and I might be able to make a little bit of money off of it. The last crowdfunding thing was really hard and I made nothing. It wasn't fair. But it was okay, but it was hard. It's like all this work got siphoned off and I had to say no to a bunch of jobs. But it was really a worthwhile project. But now it's time to maybe do something where Peter and I can just do something silly or something, and then that might be fun. I don't know. I'd like to get enough money to buy a motorcycle. It would be pretty cool. Like, that would be pretty cool. And then this would be like the only in Japan motorcycle, and you can come and ride it when you visit, maybe. I don't know. That'd be pretty cool. Speaking of things that I might buy, I was thinking of working with Jared, who has the Dream Drive van company, and buy one. And if you do come to Japan, you'd be able to rent that van, that exact van that I would buy, and he would fix it up the way I want to do it. So I thought about doing something like that. So it'd be almost like a side business that we could share too, right? So that might be pretty cool. So I'm still talking to Jared about it, but with all the other stuff happening, I think the first thing to do is to get the main channel going and purring, and then start to build Only in Japan. Because despite the fact that I have Only in Japan Go, the new main channel really needs to start to ramp up now, and I feel it too. So it's time to pull the trigger. Besides the normal, thank you, Jason. Jim writes in here, besides the normal Japanese food like ramen, tonkatsu, yakitori, what are some unique, unusual food that people should try? I wouldn't say ramen is normal. There's, within the ramen category, there's normal ramen, but there's so many unique ramens within ramen, all right? Within tonkatsu, maybe not. Tonkatsu is tonkatsu, but ramen is a little bit different. And yakitori has a lot of varieties too. But I think with unique stuff, I think Japanese condiments are still very interesting. I did yuzu kosho, but like there's stuff that you can put on the food which changes it completely. And Japanese condiments, I think I will do another episode on this. Another food that's quite interesting. Japan is very regional, so you're gonna see a lot of regional foods. So when you say Japanese food, there's also like regional Japanese food, and I think that's when you say normal. I think you talk about like all the stuff that is normal, like within all the prefectures. But things like kiritambo in Akita is just really not restricted, but really limited to that area. There's different kinds of udon, different kinds of soba, too. Different thicknesses, different shapes of the noodles that are really interesting. Down in Kyushu, they have a lot of unique dishes that are different. They prepare it different, like jidori, which is this kind of char grilled chicken made in fire, which is so cool. That's pretty much limited to Miyazaki, and I think it might be carcinogenic. I don't know if it's so good for you to have all that charcoal stuff in your chicken, but it's all good. Yaki imo, yeah, that's some good stuff. That's everywhere. We have a yaki imo truck. Some old guy who goes around in his truck with stone grilled yaki imo, which is sweet potato, which is so good. I will have more food videos on the main channel. I'm thinking of doing a street food video with Eric Surf 6 this month. So look for that coming up soon. Hi John, have you ever visited the Takachigo Gorge in Kyushu. I have not. Kyushu, are you saying, is that down in Miyazaki? That's a place I've been wanting to go to, but I didn't know what it was called. Miyazaki's got a ton of attractions that no YouTuber has really visited much of. Down in the south of Miyazaki, it's this place that's so hard to access by train. You really need a car down on the Oita Miyazaki side of the country, and Nagasaki too. Having a car is very useful. Saga Prefecture too. Um, Kumamoto, Kagoshima, Fukuoka is very connected by train. That line going down. But even then, having a car in Kyushu is very useful. I'll be checking out some more stuff in Kyushu, I think in the fall of this year and more in 2022. But right now, I'm very interested in helping out Tohoku and working on projects there, especially with Japan Rail. There's a lot of stuff they want me to do. I'm really happy that I have any kind of a partner. I like to think of Japan Rail as a partner, which sounds cool. But through my friend Ruth, I'm able to connect with them through some long-term friendships and partnerships, and they've been a fan of my content for a very, very long time. They knew about me, and I'm really happy to be working with them. They like the storytelling, and it makes what they do better. Their employees like it too, so you're gonna see some more content with them. Jennifer writes in here. Oh, Zion writes in. I hear tons about the food scene in Osaka, but little about non-food tourist sites. Tokyo has... Well, Osaka is considered to be Japan's kitchen, and Osaka's a little rough around the edges. It's not a lot of positive stories in some places. Nishinariku has like the highest concentration of homelessness. Osaka is more like the U.S. in the sense it's very, you pull your bootstraps, do it, you want to work hard, you can make a lot of money. That's sort of Osaka. Tokyo is a little bit different because the political centers here. So Tokyo has boatloads of sites within the city. Sensoji, Ueno. Osaka does too, but it's different. Osaka Castle is not the original castle. A lot of things were destroyed in World War II in Osaka, so it was recreated. It's not quite the same as Tokyo. I think the places you're listing here are also tourist sites, okay? Non-food tourist sites. Sensoji has a load of street food. I did the Meronpan episode there, all right? There's loads of restaurants. Ueno is full of restaurants. It's famous for the zoo and the park, so I'm not sure if I agree with that. Shinjuku has a ton of restaurants too. It's probably where you get a lot of the cheap eats is in Shinjuku because the businessmen want 1 coin, 500 yen lunches. Shinjuku Gyoen is a tourist attraction. Harajuku is a massive tourist attraction. Lots of crepes there, food. Kichijoji Cat Cafe, that was a cafe with food. I don't know. I think you can connect food to just about everything because people come to Japan for food. A lot of people. So it is a part of Japanese culture is food. Maybe different than other countries, but for Japan, food is huge here. And it's not just because food videos do well is why I focus on it. Food is a part of the culture, why the ingredients are good. It connects back to the land, to the way that people live. The way that people see food is very much into the culture that they grow up with. So there's a lot of background to it. So when I do food videos, I'm not just doing the food videos. You're getting something out of it more than just food. I hope. That's my intention anyways. I introduce the food, you can learn about the area. Huh? Just because the topic says takoyaki doesn't mean that there's going to be information on tourist sites in Osaka. Gets people to watch. We visited because of your video. Thank you. The Kichijoji Cat Cafe is one of the first, and it's one of the better run cafes too. Kyoto has tons of sites. Could you speak on the sites to see in Osaka? Like Fukushima Fish Market, the sites there, they're not really well known because there's not a lot of Osaka YouTubers. There's a lot of theme parks down there, Universal Studios, Japan. The city of Osaka in itself in the center is more of a working city. I got friends who live central. After work, nobody stays in the center of the city. They all go home. So it's different than Tokyo. So that's why this Osaka central area is not the same. The Umeda area is pretty buzzing with tourist attractions. The Umeda Sky Building, when I moved to Japan, was pretty pretty awesome. Now it's starting to show its age, like 30, 40 years old. But when I came here, it was brand new. It's got a sky garden. It's got one of the highest escalators. There's a couple of new buildings. Nishinariku is interesting. Um, what's it called? Tobita Shinchi, I think is what it is. This is the red light district. Don't take pictures. Do not take pictures. Put your camera away. All right, the mafia will take you down. But this is interesting to walk through because you can see the ladies sitting there in the center like a spider in a web. They're beautiful. Lights are there. Probably really sad stories where their fathers sold them into servitude or something to the mafia. But that's life. It's not right. But there's a police station on the corner. All right? There's a police station on the corner, and they're not apparently breaking any laws, or the police are turning a blind eye to it for centuries. So Tabita Shinchi is very interesting, but don't take your kids there. NHK director took me there. Just a little information. I didn't know about it. You'll see some videos on YouTube, which are rare, and I've heard that the mafia looks for those people to get them to take it down, which is scary. So, Tobita Shinchi. You can search that, Osaka's red light district. And gosh, the island, Kansai Airport is a site in itself. There's some trains in there, but a lot of the attractions emanate outside. Go to a Hanshin Tigers game, which is a baseball game. The Hanshin Tigers have probably the most colorful fan base in Japan, which is very interesting. There's more, a lot more. Kyoto, I'm not a big fan of Kyoto anymore. It's overdone and it's too touristy, and Kanazawa is better to me. It's too many people. Jennifer, hi John, would you ever do an episode on great day trips from Tokyo? I would do that. When things open up, we can return to Japan. I think that would be good. I've done a lot of them already, like Omiya. What's the one that Jennifer goes to a lot? Up there in Saitama. Gosh, I can't remember now. I don't know why. There's a lot of really good day trips in Chiba as well, but they're also connected with events. Okay, and because of the pandemic, for over a year now, I haven't been able to go to those events and film them. I wanted to do some stuff in Chiba, but again, like the Dolls Festival, Hinamatsuri, one of the best places to go is in Chiba, and I can't. They've been suspended for 2 straight years. So we will try. Dawn and Family. So Jennifer, I will try very hard to try to do some day trip stuff. That'd be pretty fun to do a series on that as well. First, please give our warm regards to Kanai and Rio. You got it. Our question is, do you know if getting a long-term visa is available, as our grandparents were born in Japan? Long-term visa, you can try to talk with the embassy. I know that they give out 6-month visas. Maybe you can talk them into it. I'm going to see if... I don't know why the gimbal is not happy with... I don't want that wire there. My phone, I charged my phone but forgot to plug in the charger. So I didn't charge the phone. You can talk with the embassy and then maybe they'll give you a 6-month visa. But look, the reality is that in these kinds of situations, unless you have a work visa, which you can renew based on contracts, you have to do what a lot of people do, which is make a trip to Korea. The flights are sometimes under $100 round trip, so they're very cheap. Stay there for a night, have a good meal. Korean food is really good, right? Get back to Kimpo Airport, I think, and you can get back into Tokyo. A lot of people do this, and you get another 3-month visa, or 1 month, depending on your situation. Visa runs. You can go to Taiwan as well, which is a little bit more expensive. Hong Kong, which is just a little bit more expensive. Even Singapore has some cheap flights to do it. Bangkok prices went up a little bit. But Korea is a close neighbor that allows you to get another visa when you come back into Japan. I don't know about long-term visas. You can ask, it depends on your nationality, but you can ask at the embassy and explain to them and they might give it to you. Seriously. Just talk with them and see what they say, and they might want birth certificates and some paperwork. If you can prove it, they might give you a longer visa. I don't know. But if you do have guarantors that would help your case, I don't really know because I don't need to look into this. So you would get more out of it by Googling it. But I haven't heard too many stories of people getting extended visas over the one that they get when landing. But you can get longer visas if you apply for them. Even if you're American, you get them on arrival, but 99.9% of the people get them on arrival. But you can try to swing something. Just call the embassy and ask them. Um, some of the or the consulate that's near you, and there might be a way to swing something. Hey Suede, I remember Suede was in the video a couple days ago that I released. Why is Japan called Japan everywhere in the world except for in Japan? Why is it Nippon in Japan, but it's called Japan everywhere else? I don't know. Maybe it's like España is called Spain or something. I'm not sure, but Nippon, probably there's a history behind it coming from the West. The Westerners, the first people to come here were the Portuguese, I believe. The clerics that came and tried to convert people, and then the British, but he was more stranded here. So I'm not sure, but it's a pretty good thing to research, and probably from the clerics. My gut says it comes from the clerics back in the day, and their translations, and they wrote Japan somehow. Or somehow word came of it, and through China, and Marco Polo took this back of an island called Japan, and things got jumbled. Marco Polo had some pretty. I read his little book. It's a pretty interesting little book about his travels. A little town where he and his cohorts just slept with all of the local women in this really bizarre chapter in the book. And of course they visited that town going back home to Italy. It's a weird chapter or two. Marco Polo's Adventures, written by him. Maybe the translations are wrong, but I think I read that right. Jose Ramos, hi John, and congratulations to all the positive news. It has been a pretty positive end of May, and this year has been some really good news this whole year. Some of my favorite videos of yours on your previous channel include the one where you were riding the Sunrise Izumo and bicycle climb up and down the Ishimohashi. Inside information, this company, WOW, all right, I had a total control over everything, but I had to do this formality of tell them the topics I was going to do. They didn't want to do it, all right? Which is, it doesn't make any sense to me. The capsule hotel video with like 8 million views, which is a big deal 7 years ago, they didn't want to do that either. They go, oh, what's so special about a capsule hotel? It's like you're looking at it from a Japanese point of view, which explains now the direction of that old channel, right? It's not good. They don't get it, and that's fine. But Ishimohashi was totally like, I might do something with these topics again. I'm not gonna do it the same way because to me it feels like stealing, and I don't want it's on another channel. I gotta do it in a new way. But a lot of other creators can do it the same too. Sunrise Izumo still has some stories no one's told about it. I was curious whether or not you plan to film or update. I don't plan on it right now, but it's in my mind where I could do it. Yes, audio is fine. It's my mobile fixed now. Good. That's good to hear, Singapore Dan. Yeah. Some good questions. Look at this. So Jose, I probably will do some touch up on those subjects again. Kai writes in here, what is the oldest building or part of a settlement where you are located today? I saw this really interesting in Hachobori, a really interesting building. It looks modern on the outside, but on the inside, the owners of it didn't left the original building as part of the foundation of their new structure, which is just to prop up the old building. It's a tobacco stand. But I thought about asking the neighbors if they could tell me about the history, because I don't smoke, and maybe get an interview and film it inside. And I might do that this summer. But it's interesting. I don't know how old it is. But it looks like it survived World War II and the fire bombings, which would make it very old, and definitely something worthy of an episode. There aren't too many old buildings here in Chuoku because it was bombed so heavily in World War II. But I think I showed you in a stream last year, I did, of the copper-plated buildings from the 1930s that were survive the bombs of World War II. Maybe because of the copper, they became somewhat fireproof, and with the copper plating, and those are still around. But in Japan, the thing is this: Japan uses wood as a construction material, not stone. So a lot of those buildings from 1,000 years ago are gone. They either burnt down on their own or from other fires in the area, or just fell apart. And Kiyomizu-dera in Kyoto is a good example of it. That temple goes all the way back to like the year 700, all right, which is insane. Maybe not that far. It's just insane when you hear about the history of like, that's 1,000 years old. That building's been here, but not really. They actually reconstruct the temple out of new wood like every 50 years or so. So it's pretty interesting, that, right? So it's always being renewed. That's the Japanese way. Nothing really lasts forever. Everything is renewed. That's sort of a Buddhist thing, Buddhist part of it. I'm saying that in general because I'm not sure exactly, but Kai, your questions come in many parts. Do most people? I appreciate the info about wheelchairs you added. I think it's very important to talk about accessibility and how it's been changing. We have a lot of viewers, especially on Only in Japan Go, that are in wheelchairs, and I think that you have to know your audience, and I think it's a pretty good topic to cover. And for me, as somebody who is a resident of Tokyo, I want to know where my tax dollars are going. And to see more elevators and accessibilities is very important. I plan to do more on this as in August before the Paralympics, because I think it's really important and a good chance to highlight what Japan is doing. I want people who with disabilities to feel like they can come and visit Japan safely and with less. It's better now than it was 10 years ago, and I'm proud about that. Do most people in Japan think of pets or service animals the same way as in the U.S.? I don't see too many of them, but I do see them. I don't know if they think differently because I don't have too much experience in the U.S. with them, but I do see them every now and then, but not as much as in the U.S. for sure. I think people with disabilities that require them, they go out. People in Japan are more reliant on their families than most here, so they probably go out with family members instead. A lot more often. In Hawaii, it seems that some people think dogs and cats of a barnyard type of animals are not pets. No, Japan's got its share of small dogs and cats. Many of them end up on the street, though, because when the family gets tired of it, they just release it in the wild. A lot of parks in Chiba have cat population problems because people just get rid of their cats. They put them in the park, and those cats become wild cats, which is, it's cute, but those cats are evil, all right? They will scratch and attack for food, human flesh. Where do you see exotic or non-indigenous animals in Japan? The cat parks, all right? Are they mostly forbidden for import? I'm not sure. The monkeys are indigenous to Japan, but those are pretty exotic. You see them in a lot of places that you wouldn't expect them, like Miyajima in Hiroshima. That's why they got rid of that idea. What did I miss here? There's no direction for wow. Look. All right, I'm just gonna tie this up real quick. There's no direction because I did everything. They don't know what they're doing. And one of the topics for WoW was, John, why don't you dress up in cosplay and climb Mount Fuji? That was their idea. All right? That's when you know to quit. They don't know what is good or not good, but they thought that they did, and they didn't respect the creator that they had. So that's it. John goes. That's why they got rid of the idea of pet ownership in America. What did I miss? I missed it. You adopt a pet, you don't buy them, and you are a legal guardian. Yes. Right, Jennifer French writes, oh my god. First of all, I don't cosplay normally, so why would I cosplay? And second, why would I climb Mount Fuji and cosplay? It's just dumb. I think their ideas come from Japanese TV, but now I don't know, they'll find out what they're doing. I did talk yesterday with Tokyo Sam, who's a friend of Dave, whose first name is Charles. I knew him as Charles because that's how he signed his email. So he seems like a really nice guy. I got nothing against the people who are doing it, but have everything against the company that is running it. So I told them before he started, nobody is going to like this company, all right? They're not a good company from my experience, and the proof is in the pudding. Why would I leave? And you really wanted to work with them? It's just good. Do you really think that every video you do is going to get 1,000,000 views? Do you know why they got 1,000,000 views? Do you think it was because of the channel? People just don't understand that actually the topics and the way I created it was the reason why they got 1,000,000 views. That's not just dumb. It's demeaning. Absolutely. Your target audience is very different. Yeah. Yeah, it's demeaning to cosplayers, all right? It's demeaning to Mount Fuji. Nobody, Mount Fuji, respect the mountain. Don't dress up as Goku trying to fly up there. What is the most exotic trees you've seen? Well, you're really getting deep, Kai. I don't know. I saw some pretty unique trees on the islands. There were some weird trees on the islands. Really beautiful ones. I can't think of any off. There's some beautiful trees that are alone on mountainsides, and I love that. You just see a tree, and that actually becomes the start of it. Like the one in Hitachi, Kaihin Koen, the seaside park in Hitachi. There's one tree among all the blue-eyed flowers, and it's just really striking, like a little bonsai, a big bonsai-looking tree. That variety of it, the pine trees. Very striking. I love those. What places seem more fantasy, magical, surreal where you have been? Please send our love to Leo Rio, River Lion. I like that. And Kanai. All of the islands seem really magical places to me. And there's some areas in Japan, a lot of small towns seem magical too, because they're abandoned and they're run down a little bit. But it's interesting to see the way some of the old retro towns are. That seems surreal. Hokkaido seems very magical place, but in terms of attractions, more and more Japan was building some of these attractions, but because the tourists aren't here, that all stopped or regressed actually. So a lot of them went out of business. So we'll never be able to see it, but I'll try to cover some of those magical fantasy, like the blue pond up in Biei in Hokkaido is very, very wonderful. It's mixed up with this aluminum oxide in the water that gives it this really weird blue color because of a bridge that they repaired after an earthquake. So that's kind of a unique fantasical location. Sean Howard, since it's unreasonably cold here in New York City today, it is chilly here in Tokyo too, which is typical in June. By the way, in June, you want to bring warmer clothes than in May. Something about the rainy season starting, bringing in chilly weather. It's down in the teens sometimes in the middle of the day. Celsius. I decided to rewatch your video from Lake Akan. Those live streams are classics, okay? Those are great live streams. One of the funniest videos you posted, the Ainu village. Sean, it was that cold. I will never forget. I thought it was going to die, and in those situations, I turned to humor. But one of the funniest videos for sure. Hope you go back again. I would love to go back in the winter. I think it's better in the winter, although I'm sure it's beautiful in the summer. But I'd love to get back to Central and North Hokkaido in the summer too, and on a motorcycle and kind of film some of those attractions. But in the winter, it is a special place. Thanks for rewatching that. There are some live streams. I wish we got a list of the top 10 live streams to go back and rewatch. We just passed 1,000 live streams this month. I didn't make a big deal about it. I probably should have. But of those thousands, there's a top 10 for sure. The 1%. So we should probably find that and then make a video on it. That'd be a lot of fun. Great questions, everybody. That's a lot. I wanted to show you, there's some questions on the audio library. I'm pulling that onto this monitor here. Do you see this right here? Inside of your YouTube Creator Studio, you don't really see it. It's kind of small. Let me bring it back then. How do I bring it back? Oh, I can just open up another window. Inside your YouTube Creator Studio, you have this panel. It's on the bottom. It's called Audio Library. You see that? I don't know if I'm showing you anything bad. It's called Audio Library. It's on the bottom of your panel here. Yeah. This is your dashboard, channel dashboard. You don't even have to be a YouTube creator in order to get that dashboard, okay? You have all of the music here that you could want. If you just type in mood, you can get in, you can check moods for your content. It's pretty creative and it's all free. If you probably type in classical music, you're gonna get classical songs. A lot of them, they're all royalty free. Some of them are really good. This one is made by Zachariah Hickman, and there's a button here that will allow you to know if you need to accredit him, but he has a YouTube channel with 400 subscribers, probably deserves a lot more, and he makes his own music like this for use in other people's videos, and that's really nice. So I like to try to credit people when I can, but not everybody requires them, so I don't do it. It's like an extra step. I probably should, just to say thank you, though. Some of the songs are really good, and some of them are really bad. Can you see this being used? This is Bach Cello Suite number 1. It's created by Cooper Connell. Thank you, Cooper, for making this song possible for YouTube. It's very professional sounding. Classical music, I love it. I grew up listening to it. I was in this gifted and talented music class in elementary school, but I quit it because it was all girls. Oh, wait, hold on. There's a part in the second half where it just all settles in, and it's after this part, it's just so satisfying after getting to it. This verse is a little unusual. That's a little unusual. It's not bad. And then it just calms down. Wait for it. What's with that rain music? I have no patience. It builds up, it builds up, it builds up. Now! It's a weird version of it, okay? But you can find a lot of emotion in classical music, but you have to have listened to it and know in your mental Rolodex of classical music which ones has a mood to fit what. So I don't listen to a lot of popular music. I don't know cultural references. I did listen to a lot of heavy metal. Just had to be with the people I hung out with. Had long hair. But yeah, there's some great songs. Muffin Man. That's a good one. A Trank is unavailable. So check this out. It's free. You have it right now if you're watching YouTube. Just have to log into your thing. Go into your little icon on the top. And that presents you with your YouTube. And you should have a YouTube studio right here. Just click that. And you'll have it in your audio library. I believe everybody has it. I've never not seen it. So yeah. Thanks so much. It's been a pretty good month. I'm working on the new postcard. I ordered half of the daimyo material for the boxes, so try to get everything out as early as possible this month. I hope your packages and your postcards all arrived. If they haven't, just let me know. If you have any questions, definitely write me. There's some good episodes coming this month. There's one where I filmed in Ueno Station about how they clean the station, which is important with the pandemic, but also how Tokyo's train stations are so clean compared to other train stations or public places. Why is Japan so clean? All right, and I think that has to do a lot with the staff that keeps it clean, but also the people, and how the people take more personal responsibility. And you see that in an episode that I filmed at Ueno Station in February, which I wanted to get a lot sooner, but life hit. Yeah, any last questions on the chat? Love the cello concerto. Indeed. there's some really good classical music that you can use. So just you can't use every single one of them because the ones by famous composers, they are still copyrighted. It's by the person, the group that plays it, not by the song itself. What about that episode on the Yakiniku Festival? I don't know. Winter doesn't seem to fit it, does it? Peso. I mean, like if I released it now, it's not really what people are thinking about. So the channel is new. If this channel had 1 million subscribers, I would probably just release it anyway because it doesn't matter. It's what the viewers would want. But it seems like it might makes more sense for me to hold on to this to like September now after the Olympics, and then just and right now focus on some more seasonal stuff, which is what people are sort of looking for, more newsy kind of stuff. And but that episode is coming for sure, 100%, because it's done. It's in the can, man. Yeah, like I saw that another channel released a video from winter with snow last month, but it just seems like misplaced for a new channel. Sweet, you're still lives live. I am for you. I try to do it for at least an hour. True, more summery stuff now. It is winter though down here. That's true. For Australia and it's 20 some million people, that would be a big deal. But I'm not big in Australia. Australians should watch only in Japan a lot more. Yeah, we have to work on that, Peso. We have to get our Aussie friends down under. I got to go down there. That's what I have to do. Give speeches, do television interviews, get people interested in Japan. Be a diplomat. All right? That's not a knife. This is a knife. Got to do stuff like that and get out my samurai sword. Huh? If I travel around Australia with a samurai sword in the outback, I'll probably get more Americans. And Crocodile Dundee's legend is strong. All right? Open up a can. You know what I'll do? Okay, I'll get a Foster's Lager, which nobody drinks in Australia, really. And, well, some people do, but it's not that. It's mostly an export. Go, that's not a knife. This is a knife, mate. Take the sword and just smash the can of Foster's Lager off with a samurai sword. And then write only in Japan at the end. Do a series of commercials. By the way, the Nada, where's that postcard? This, I just triggered some music. Where'd that come from? What's that coming from? It's weird. I didn't do anything. This scene is in a Boss Coffee commercial in Australia. All right. They asked me for the raw footage, so you can go and check that out. I thought that was cool. It's in Australia in a Boss Coffee commercial. I put it on Discord server. All right, everybody, I gotta get back to work. I'm editing that video and gotta make lunch. So besides this pizza, so hope you have a good day. It's Monday now here. Oh wow, I hope they paid you. That's between me and them, but there's value to having archives. Okay, there's value to having archives. Thanks, John. You're very welcome, Jennifer French. I will be adding. I got less of. I have an insider's note coming really soon. I just have to add the photos into it, and I also have a new content to announce. With the nice new Sony cameras, I might do a special Patreon only video, sort of like this, but talking to the camera and answering your questions. I don't know if I need to do these live. Maybe the Q&A it's kind of fun live, but it might be better with a higher quality video since most people, there's only 18 people here, like hundreds of people watch this in playback. They can't join us live. So I thought I might just answer the questions at the middle of the month and give channel updates and answer questions in a Patreon review, and then do live streams, live question and answers on the side, but maybe make them a little bit shorter, and then work more with the chat. I think might be what I'm saying, and answer the questions on the screen non-live in a better, more high quality format, which you can just watch on your TV. Because I was pretty impressed with the quality out of camera of Cinetone from the Sony cameras. That looked pretty good in the Q&A. It did a good job. Less fun without the back and forth. I know, but to answer questions on the screen, I think it'd be better to answer the questions live, to sit down on the sofa and do the live streams instead of doing it in front of a monitor. Might be fun too. But I don't know, with the Cinetone and the nice colors, it's way better than this here, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. Well, I'll try. You know, the thing is, it doesn't have to be one way or another. I think it's just good to experiment, right? There's also another idea. I want to pass this by you before I end. And let me know your thoughts, okay? You don't have to do it in the chat here, but in the playback, you can leave a comment, or you can just email me too on Discord or on Patreon. Somebody said that they'd like to buy another postcard to send to a friend of theirs, okay? So they said, you should make up a new category of people who want to get 2 postcards, one for themselves and one to send to a friend as a gift, because he wants to send it to a friend every month. So I said, that's an interesting thing, and I don't have to charge the same price. I could lower the price because I do make an excess amount of postcards. So I might start this a little higher level as an experiment to see if anybody's interested. Maybe charge a little bit more. I'll be able to raise a little bit more money, and you'd be able to send an extra postcard to a friend or family member. Might be something pretty cool. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but that might be something I release this month or next month, and just order some more postcards, because it'd be pretty cool to send more. I love to send the postcards, and I order so many of them that a lot of them just sit here. So it might be pretty cool. It was a good idea, and I appreciate that supporter. I don't know if they want to be made public, but that supporter is suggesting this. You could package them in bulk too. I was thinking also to the Ninja tier. Ooh. I also have like 2019 and 2018 postcards that I could bundle up to and put together, and that might be another option as well. 2017, I don't have too many. I only printed out like 50 of them. So it could be an add-on as well. A gift for new Daimyo members or something like this. By the way, so the Daimyo packages will be going out probably around the 10th of this month. But I do have a collectible for those that were here in March. You know what I'm talking about. It's coming your way. It's a good package coming in June. They come in waves, and I'm trying to find the maker of this. All right. Some people said that they wanted a Shinkansen, so I found this. This is the Tohoku Shinkansen in Lego, imitation Legos. All right, called Petite Blocks. And I want to see if I can put this in the Daimyo packages too. It's a little Lego Tohoku Shinkansen, and there's also the passenger cars too. Yeah. So I couldn't find enough of them though. So I need to get. They're really small Legos too. So I need to find the maker and try to get like 50 of these, and then I'll be able to send these out. But I want to get this and the middle cars, and then you can connect them, and you have. I don't know if it actually moves, but it does look pretty cool. And I think it'd be fun to put together, but they are really small. And it is a choking hazard, it says on the back here. So, yeah. This one, I think I was going to send this one to Nosh Abroad for your... I got a lot of stuff over the year that I've been saving. I got like a Nosh Abroad corner to send to you. So I'm thinking of putting one of these in here. And Ramsey Silent has a package here too. I've been saving stuff for Ramsey Silent as well. There you go. So leave me any comments if you have any questions or feedback on it. I really do appreciate it, and the support is huge. Patreon is funding only in Japan for the vast majority of everything comes from you, and that is something I don't forget when I make the content. Thanks everybody. I'll see you a little bit later on. I get a day, and I might do a live stream around 2 o'clock. I'm not quite sure. It is Monday. And it's Sunday night in the U.S. I'm sure people are asleep. It's the weekend, right? Long weekend, right, in the U.S. So maybe people are watching YouTube. I don't know. Have a good day.